Right,
Wow.
that'll do. That is the wrong screen. There we go. Right, sorry, we have no mic. We don't really know what's gone on. So Mike's been sacked for the evening. So it's just, sorry, Mike. Mike's going to be in the comments in the live chat. So if you do have any questions for Mike, please let him know. And he will start chatting with you in the live chat too. So just me and Becca.
Yep.
Welcome to your first live chat without Mike.
I know. It's a bit weird not having Mike there, really, but...
I know, you're just going to have to put up with me now.
Yeah, sometimes these things just happen, but...
Yeah. It's I appreciate there's a lot of advice and a lot of tips, and I know that there's a lot of people who've been messaging me on Facebook, but we are IT savvy. Becca literally does it for a living, and it's not something we're not familiar with. It's just one of those things, for whatever reason, it's not picking up with Mike. We have literally set it up the same way we always set it up, so I just don't know what's happened. It's one of those things. But yeah, Mike's getting sacked in the morning. We'll really reinstate him into his position tomorrow. But to be fair, the next live stream, whenever that may be, we will probably all be able to sit in our garden and be able to do it one way or another.
Which will be much better.
It will. It might be a disaster one way or another, but we'll somehow get it working better than what we've done. Hello, Sean. He's managed to join us. Sean is a legend. If you haven't checked his... Sean.
Oh, right, yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm looking thinking, which one's Sean?
Yeah.
Because my eyesight.
Hi, Sean. It's nice to be saying hello to you through the screen rather than writing in the live chat. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, hello everybody. If you've got any questions for Becca, please send them Becca's way. Again, we're sorry if you're just rejoining us or joining us about what happened earlier. It's just one of those things, I guess. But what park are you doing first this year? I know.
Yeah, it's going to be Pleasure Beach, isn't it?
Charlie's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we do start referencing Charlie, that is our little boy, just in case... who has access to PBE socials? Best send out a new link. Good point, Mark. I will do that while Becca talks to everyone. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, go ahead, Becca.
Yeah, right. Someone's just asked if we got a brick. Scott, I believe, did get one.
Yeah, I didn't get the one that they sent as well. I just wanted one on the wall because we've got so much merchandise everywhere already that needs to save some space.
If we got one, I'd be building it into the wall in the back garden because we have too much as it is. Charlie's favourite ride, the big one. Honestly, there isn't a day that goes past where Charlie doesn't talk about going on the big one. He's still quite a way off actually doing it, given he's only coming to a metre at the minute. But rides he's actually been on,
Blue Flyer,
the Pleasure Beach Express, one of the two.
So the ones he's been on, I'd say definitely Blue Flyer, but he's not at the minute. He's got a bit of a funny on with that one at the minute, but I think it's just one of those things. He's a little bit nervous about it, but he'll get to doing it again. Yeah, he actually went on a travelling coaster at the Ironbrew Carnival when he was just over one as well. He was about
the
1.5.
Frozen coaster. He was very happy about that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he actually led us onto it. We just didn't think that he'd want to do anything that day, and he led us onto it, and we're like, oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Let's go on it. He was a bit iffy on the corners, but so was I, so it's just one of those things that he loved it in the end, and he was telling everyone all about it after he'd done it.
Yeah.
And when we suggested he might do it again, he was, no, don't want to do that again. But, so, Becca, I want to see some questions for you. But I'll ask you one now, just in case anyone missed it last time. Favourite dark ride and why?
Right, favourite dark ride. The first one that comes to my mind is the Spider-Man ride, Universal's Islands of Adventure. It's just perfect from the second you walk into the queue right till you come out of it again. It is a park I love, so it's hardly surprising. It's also close enough to the Hulk that you can get quite a few good rides in pretty quickly.
And the bra.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also lasted the time well. It doesn't feel that old when you go in. I mean, if I was to sit and think about it, I don't even think if there's another one I could think of that would beat it.
Yes.
But it is the first one that comes to mind. But it is just excellent.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we did it, it was 2017 now, and it was a bit of a break from the Hulk at the time, and it was a bit like, why are we breaking off from the Hulk here? What's going on? What's the point of this? And we did it, and as many of you will know, I'm a DC fan rather than a Marvel fan, and I was just in awe of it. I thought it was excellent. And on a similar subject, I did, what's it called? Justice League. I did the dark ride of that at Six Flags. I can't remember the full name of it, but that was a similar technology, but more modern. And I think when you do eventually get around to doing Six Flags, you will really, really like that.
Yeah.
So you can probably see the questions better than me, but I think they're all mostly aimed at you for now. So
yeah. So, what's my favourite American park? Well, if my trip for next month hadn't been scuppered, I might have a bit better an answer for that. But so far, for America, I have only been to Florida, so it has to be Busch Gardens. That is mostly for Kumba, and mostly for how I remember it being years ago. It had a bit more life in it, but still, it's a park I really enjoy. It's just nice and chilled out. It's not... I'm not going to make the comparison I could make, but it's nicely spread out without feeling barren, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're never too far from somewhere, but you're also not crowded in.
Yeah. So they've got 2 new coasters since we went. They've got Tigris, which is the Premier Rides, not the Power Rides. The Premier Rides Skyloop thing. I probably called it by the wrong concept name, but I'm flustered because of what's going on with the live stream. And then obviously we've got Iron Glassie, which in your opinion is not a conversion, is a new coaster. But less of that and more, how good was Glassie? Oh yeah, why have we got...
We don't actually...
We don't need them anymore, do we? Yeah, so how good was Glassie?
Glassie was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just coming over for that first drop and seeing that other train and not having enough time to think about it. Because back when I first went on that, it wasn't like I'd seen it on YouTube. I hadn't seen it on socials. It was a long time ago. And just as you go over, you're not quite expecting to see you and the other train heading in the same place. So it was excellent. I also experienced it with the original trains and the later awful trains, which did make a massive difference. And it wasn't as good. But, yeah. So
what else was good about Busch Gardens when you first went? Because obviously you were saying when we went, oh, this used to be here, that used to be there, and things had changed. But would you still say it was a great park when we went? Or
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got giraffes, and that makes a big difference. But there is also the one thing that I really did miss when we went compared to when I've been before is the tidal wave.
Yeah.
Style ride. I think it might have been called tidal wave. I can't remember, but it was hidden behind a fence.
Yeah, we just couldn't see it.
Because that area's been worked on, and that was a bit disappointing. But that drop tower.
Falcon's Fury is a big fat no from me. I am not.
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it until it tilted. And then it was just like, nah, get me off this thing. Just please. So, Universal, what do you think of Velocicoaster Nicely?
Am I allowed to make the comparison?
Go for it. Just.
I won't. No, it visually great. I love the lighting. I love the little T-Rexes scattered about it, but it doesn't look very interesting. It doesn't look like it's got enough pace to keep me interested. Yeah. It just saunters about, and I do get bored on those kind of coasters. Yeah, because I think with many a time we've said over the years we've got different sort of opinions on Icon, whereas you think it was the right ride for Pleasure Beach, but in terms of your favourites, it's not your favourite. No. But what is your favourite Pleasure Beach? Oh, that was a silly question, wasn't it? I know the answer, but everyone else might not. It depends what we're basing favourites on. Okay, what's the most thrilling? The big one.
Obviously.
Yeah.
The correct answer. So, and then in terms of favourite, what would you say is your actual favourite?
The big orange eyesore at the side of the park.
There we go. You got another question. Well, you got quite a few.
Yeah, I was going to say there's quite.
I'll let you go through the questions then.
Right, let's see. Give me a second to read. I'm not the quickest at reading. What Woody do you think they'll do on Walk the Woody? That's been put on socials quite a bit. It looks to be the Big Dipper, which will give amazing views.
Yeah, definitely.
I know it was initially looked like it was going to be roller coaster or streak, whatever we're calling it these days, which would have been excellent. But I think the Big Dipper actually makes more sense being centre of the park.
Yeah, there's it's not entirely confirmed yet if they're doing Dipper as well as Streak or if they're just doing one or the other, because there was a bit of a hint on socials the other day that there's going to be a Dipper one as well, and so we're not really sure at the minute, but it'll be good to do both. I've always wanted to walk around the Woodies at the Pleasure Beach. Just like when you stay at the Big Blue Hotel and you see them doing the track walk at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind doing that. And then you remember, oh, I'm actually not very good at maintenance, so there'd be no point me doing it. But to actually do it as an experience as a guest will just be incredible. So I'll let you carry on reading the questions.
Okay, someone's asked, is Walk the Big One value for money? Is it worth the climb? Absolutely. That was amazing. I mean, we did it last when Icon was not much more than just groundwork.
Yeah.
It wasn't visible as a coaster at that point, and it was so good. So to do it now with Icon built, I think it would look even more stunning. And it is definitely worth the walk. It's not that difficult. I didn't think it was that much of a difficult walk. Going back down's a bit weird, but I don't think the walk up there's as hard as you think.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be surprised. It's actually harder to walk down it because the little pulley thing that you've got with you, it kind of catches on everything a lot more when you're going down. Obviously, it's designed to stop you from falling very far, and it is quite difficult to sort of walk along with it because it is like walking a really awkward dog that keeps sort of digging its heels into the ground like, no, I'm not going anywhere.
It's like trying to walk a toddler to somewhere they don't want to go as well.
Yeah, pretty much. There is actually, I think there's 3 slots left on Walk the Big One for this year. It is because they've carried over from last year to this year.
Yeah.
So they've had to put on additional dates. And I think, hope Pleasure Beach will thank me for this if it suddenly sells out. But there is only a few places left at the end of September. I'd love to do it in September, but because that's when Halloween starts for us on PBE, it's kind of difficult to commit to anything at that point and go, well, we're going to do it on this day because it might clash with something else. So we tend to plan anything for September pretty last minute, whereas the rest of the year, and October, but the rest of the year we're all pretty like organised months and months and months in advance. I just want to mention before it goes off the screen, I want to say it's no problem to Sean for sending all of those documentaries. I actually enjoyed searching for them. Some of them are not the best, but yeah, it is decent. It is decent, some of them, especially the Building the Big One.
Yeah.
You get some legendary quotes from Jeffrey Thompson. Magnum gets a mention, which Sean likes. It gets referenced quite a bit by Jeffrey, who said basically he went on it, but he wanted one, but bigger.
Yep.
Debatable if that's what he got, but we certainly got a bigger Arrow hypercoaster. Becca, any more questions? When will Swim the River Caves
Swim the River
happen?
Caves. I will volunteer to do that. If they'll let me swim round that thing, I'd do it. Maybe more wading through it. I don't think it's deep enough for a full swim, but
no, it's about ankle deep, I think, once you get to it. But no, it'd be interesting to do a walk around that. But I know that it's a really difficult one for Pleasure Beach to organise in park season time because
it would have to be drained, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think it takes forever to drain it and then to fill it back up again.
Mm-hmm.
I think going off what it used to be like to fill up the log flume at Alton Towers, that used to take ages in the morning. We'd just be there like it's like running a massive bath. You'd have to go and flip the switch and you'd be like just stood there going, oh, I'd like to send the boats, but I can't see enough water yet. So it would take ages. In terms of the fairground rides at Towers, I genuinely don't think it's a bad thing.
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I do. It's going to soak up all of the queues that, I mean, last year, once the parks reopened, Towers was probably the busiest of the lot, especially in the middle of the summer. And especially when like 13 was on limited capacity, Nemesis was on limited capacity, I think Oblivion was as well. And obviously Towers had to do that. That was the right thing for them to do. But it did make it feel 10 times busier than what it normally felt. Of course, Nemesis was still walk on, as it always is.
Yep.
But I just think it's a great idea. I do really do. But I'll be really disappointed if they don't have Bonkers 14 on and all the air horns going and fog machines and...
Just a bit more colour. It'll be so good to have a bit more colour.
Yeah, it will. It'll just add nicely to it.
Yeah.
I know it's only temporary, but I just think it's a fun idea. It'll take the queues away from some of the coasters. And also, not only that, I think that people who go that aren't enthusiasts really will not care. They'll not be like, oh, this doesn't fit in with the park. They'll just be like, oh, extra rides to do. Happy days. More value for their money.
Yeah.
So, walk the avalanche track, Kev says. What do you think about that?
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Kev, let us know in the live chat if you've walked avalanche. I'm sure you will have done over the many years that you've been at Pleasure Beach. It would be interesting. Yeah, Valhalla takes 3 or 4 days. If you are just joining us, Mike is unfortunately not here. For whatever reason, the audio didn't work out tonight for Mike. We will make sure that doesn't happen again. We'll try and schedule a live stream sooner than the end of next month so we can get Mike involved. Maybe we'll be able to do it all in the same garden.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to worry about phone calling. We could just all sit in the same garden and do it. That'd be decent. Kev says every day around Avalanche. Becca says, have you got any jobs going?
Yeah. Work experience.
Yeah, work experience sounds like a plan. Oh, do you think the smile has got better in recent years? I don't think it's got better. I don't know if it's got any worse, but I've never really liked it, if I'm being honest. I won't go too far into details.
I can't answer because I've refused to go on it since my first ride, so I genuinely can't say.
Yeah, I only do it once a year, and I don't know if he's watching, but if Craig's watching, it's only because Craig pretty much is the biggest Smiler fan in the world, and he is a great guy, and I just think, I'm not going to let him down. He's always happy, he's always smiling, he makes me smile, his happiness is infectious, and I just think, he loves that ride. He always wants us to go on it in a group, and I'm just like, yeah, go on then, I'll do my annual ride on it. And last year, when we did our annual ride on it, I tried to be nice and not moan about it too much, and yeah.
Here's a question.
It's Jimmy says it's smooth. Jimmy, get in the bin. Carry on, you've got a question.
A tattoo of a roller coaster. Hopefully this counts. And now I'm just going to have to wait for a second to see if it actually appears.
Just make sure. I'm going to check on my phone and make sure. Yep, you're on screen.
There we go. So the stream we're watching is slightly behind, so it's a bit difficult to see, but I do have the old roller coaster sign on my arm. If it was to get an actual looks like a coaster kind of tattoo, I think I always thought it would be a Woody, but I'd actually get something like Kumba's fake corkscrew thing.
Oh, the interlock corkscrews?
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd get a Kumba piece.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just hoping I've just made the right video private. If you can still see us, please let us know in the comments. I've just taken down the last live stream, so I'm just hoping that I did actually take the right one down there. So if you could change parts of River Caves or the Ghost Train outside and inside, what would you change and why?
Oh, that's easy. So the River Caves needs a complete refresh on the outside at a minimum for me. If I could only do one thing to it, I would redo the outside, make it a bit more appealing, just give it a bit more life. Because since they've taken some of the theming down, because I imagine they're probably in progress of doing something with it.
Yeah.
It is incredibly bland, so I'd give it a bit more life, a bit more colour. The Ghost Train,
Might be surprised.
I'd bring back the big bat.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all it needs, just the big bat.
With mist.
Yes, yes. Absolutely.
With the mist, definitely. Yeah, we can't say mist without laughing because our little boy, Charlie, when he watches, he loves Icon as well, because it's the same age as him. And in the POV, I say as we come out of the station, here we go on Icon 2019, no mist. Now, the reason I say no mist is because that was the third attempt at doing the POV. And the 2 times before it, I'd been daft enough not to ask Pleasure Beach to keep the mist off until we'd done the POV. So, of course, we went through the tunnel, and as soon as the mist hit the camera lens, it just misted up, and you couldn't see anything. So it was like, what have I done here? And even trying the tricks that stop it misting up on the screen, we even put substances on it and all sorts of things. It just didn't work. So the whole reason for saying no mist, I don't know why I said it out loud, because it doesn't make any sense when you watch the video for why I said it, but it was kind of a personal note of, look, no mist, the POV's got to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be updating our Pleasure Beach POVs this year, which is good. I'm excited about that. So they'll hopefully be on the channel sometime in the summer, which should be pretty good. Look, lost my voice. Bring back the bat.
Yes.
So, any more questions you want to pick up on?
So, I've seen a few times, and I know Mike's answered this on the chat, but for anyone not reading, it has been asked about plus size people, and I imagine you're asking about the Pleasure Beach. Yeah, they're fairly forgiving.
Yeah, definitely.
Most rides you won't have to, especially the Woodies. Absolutely, they're very forgiving. The
Grand National is a bit tight.
Yeah.
But you can still get on it.
Yeah, that's kind of widthways. Everyone's built differently, so it's difficult to say yes. But, you know, some are more forgiving with the lap bar, some are more forgiving widthways. Depends how you're built, but generally you would be able to get on most things.
I'm just smiling at Craig's comment.
Oh, what was
I'm not having that, Craig. I'll let you off because it's you. Oh dear. So, confectionery Craig, that does sound about right, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's always got sweets. Always. Sounds good. You need to come on a trip when Craig's about. He's always got sweets. Not seen him for ages, I don't think.
No, I haven't seen him for ages.
No.
I don't think since Thorpe Park.
Oh, 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite possible. I'll ask you your favourite Intamin launch coaster, because there is a video on PBE that I've done about that, and I think I said Maverick. I think.
Intamin launch. I'm trying to think of. There's none that
Cheetah Hunt?
stand out.
Rita? Stealth?
Rita.
Oh.
I enjoy Rita, and it gets far too much hate.
Oh, Screwy Loops will agree with you. I don't know if Digital Dan's watching, but I think he'll disagree with you. If Chris from Screwy Loops is watching, he'll definitely agree with you, though. I think Rita's a funny one, really, because
it does what it needs to do.
Yeah, I suppose. The thing is, when it opened, and it was good marketing by Towers, they told us all it was the best ride ever. Now, I queued 2 hours believing that, and I shouldn't have believed it.
See, I didn't visit around the time that it opened, so that had no bearing on my thoughts.
Yeah.
My thought was, I don't like launch coasters. This is going to be not very good.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yeah. That's the thing. So just want to say, see you later to Sean. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. I'll catch up with you soon by email or on one of your live chats. I wonder who will have the first vlog out on the 12th. To be honest, I won't be uploading on the 12th. I'll probably not get back from Pleasure Beach until, if ride closes 5 o'clock, and we'll usually chat after park close for a good half an hour. I'll probably get home about 7, probably have tea, and then start on the edit. So it'll be out on the 13th, but then I'll be back at Pleasure Beach doing some more filming for another video, which will come out further down the line. And on the Wednesday, I'm doing some work for SC Creative, so I'm not doing PB stuff on the Wednesday. But then on the Friday, first ever visit to Paulton's Park, that'll have a full vlog. It won't be a camera in the face kind of vlog. It will be me talking behind the camera, showcasing a park that has never been on this channel. Because the person I'm going with as well, if he's watching, I won't give his name out, but he doesn't really appear in vlogs either. So I think it's, on that one, I think it's just better if we show the park. We've never been there. We'll do a full tour of the park. We'll do POVs. We'll do a full review. And then at some point in a sit-down video, I probably will then give my camera-facing thoughts, if that makes sense. But and then after that, we're going back to Pleasure Beach with no cameras for Charlie's birthday. After that, in terms of the UK parks, I haven't really got much planned after the first week, but I think it'll just be a case of what's happening at the time. It's quite easy to plan stuff for the UK, really, especially with so many of the parks having us having season passes for them, or them being reasonably priced, where you can just say, oh, let's just go on Saturday a few days before it, kind of thing. So what days will we be going to Pleasure Beach? Monday, Tuesdays was the first 2 days. Don't know about the rest of April yet. What ride most surprised you, Becca?
Hold on. Oh, just as I went to answer. Most surprised would probably be Wallaby Holland and, what's it called? You know which one I mean.
Well, if you tell me what's there.
The one that we thought we were going to hate and it was excellent.
Not Toverland, surely.
Wallaby Holland!
Oh, you're on about Wallaby Holland?
Yes.
Right, carry on, I'm answering comments. Lost Gravity?
Lost Gravity, that's the one.
Yeah, I thought you were on about a park, not a coaster. Sorry, I just sort of switched off while I was replying to comments.
Yeah, so Lost Gravity, because we kind of avoided it all day because it looked like it was going to hurt. We were going to just see if we had time for it.
A confession with that one is we didn't know anything about it. Genuinely, it's probably one of the only times we've been to a park where we went in blind.
Yeah.
Because we just decided. The original plan was to go to Efteling, and then it was like, right, where else are we going to go? Oh, let's go to Toverland. And then it was like, oh, let's go to Wallaby as well. And when we went to Wallaby, it was like, they've got Goliath.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was like, they've got Goliath. Don't really know about what else they've got.
Yeah.
And then we get there, and I'm looking at Lost Gravity going, that looks like a Gertz. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. We went on it, came off it, was totally shocked at how good it was, went on RCDB and went, oh, it's a Mac.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's actually a Mac.
Yeah.
Just before I forget, before it goes off the screen, thank you very much to Crimson, who has done a super chat. So please, if you drop us a message on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or by email to pbexperience@hotmail.co.uk, you're our first giveaway winner. Yep. They are all going to be mystery prizes because of the issues we've had. We've not really had a chance to throw anything together, haven't we? But
no, but we've got lots of things.
We've got goodies. There is new merchandise coming out. It should have been tonight, but it'll be tomorrow now. But there will be new merchandise.
Yep.
Hats, bags, teas, not teapots, mugs.
I would love to make a PBE teapot.
Come on, let's do a PBE teapot giveaway. The hoodies are coming back, the t-shirts are coming back, sweatshirts, it's all coming back. Becca's workload is just going to increase more.
Yes.
Because it's Becca that does all of that, not me. So yeah, Crimson, please, big thank you. Drop us a message and you are the first giveaway winner. The next winner will be decided as we go. So we're keeping an eye on every comment and best comments will win goodies.
Yeah.
Because we're feeling generous and we messed you all around with Mike, and I know you're probably missing Mike lots because he's not actually here, he's in the live chat. So again, if you're just joining us, I do apologise for no Mike. Really not sure what happened. We'll fix it for next time. That's the main thing. So yeah, let's have a look at some of these questions. Go on. Biggest ride you've been on?
Biggest?
Might well be the big one.
I know, I've never really given thought to that. See, when you say biggest, I start thinking, do you mean tallest? Do you mean longest? Because that's two different rides.
There is people in favour of teapots. We are going to have to make teapots.
Oh, I will gladly make teapots. If people are genuinely interested, we might have to do a bit of a competition for those of you that like teapots. I'm quite a fan of teapots.
So what's the question? Favourite tea bag?
Sheikra or Mako? Oh, Mako.
Well, I've only been on Mako, so sore subject that one. Mike, you know exactly that is a sore subject. You're just being naughty there. Definitely. Teapots?
Yeah, come on, the teapots. Yorkshire tea.
Yorkshire tea.
Wait, that's 2 votes for Yorkshire tea. What's going on here?
Oh, Mike says which is the tallest, Sheikra or Mako? I don't think either are taller than the big one.
I don't think it would make any difference. They're 2 completely different rides. Let's see. What's your opinion on Infusion? Ooh.
Steady.
I would rather not ride it, but I'd happily sit and watch it in the dark, and not in the dark because you can't see it.
No, it looks great at night.
It does look great, especially with the backdrop of the big one. John Bell, Scottish Blend Tea, excellent. You definitely need to win a teapot now. I'll put a Scottish flag on the back just for you. But yeah, Infusion isn't one I get on with. I do not like
inverted coasters, SLCs.
I just do not agree with them. I don't like them. That's that. But it sounds great. It's going above and beyond sounding like a B&M down there.
Do you know, it's mad because I remember when Pleasure Beach released the first testing footage of it back in the day before YouTube was really a thing. And they released a video of it and everyone was like, nah, it doesn't sound like that. And then we all turned up and watched it test and went, yeah, it does sound like that. We're like, why does it sound like a B&M?
Yeah.
But I think it looked good at Southport because it had the same presence as the big one at Pleasure Beach.
Enthusiast.
That's it. Mike's an enthusiast.
Mike's an enthusiast, yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, like I remember, I liked it at Southport to a point, but it doesn't look out of place at Pleasure Beach. That's the thing. It fits, and I think because of the track style, it does fit because it looks similar to Big One's track, just flipped. And I don't know if you know this, but there was rumours it was going to be called Pepsi Max Flipped at one point because it was still red and blue when it was being constructed at points, and it's just like, no, they can't call it Pepsi Max Flipped, surely.
Yeah.
So was no idea if that was ever going to be true, but can you imagine if we had the Pepsi Max Big One and the Pepsi Max Flipped? Because it'd be like, let's go on the Pepsi Max ride. Which one?
So, someone's asked, have we ever ridden Infusion when it was Traumatizer? I didn't. I'd never visited there. It didn't make sense for me living in Scotland. It was too far for too little, really. It's a long way to drive, and public transport was just a no. You, though?
I did it a few times. 2006 was the first time. Yeah, 2006 was one of the first times I did it, because I did it with. I thought Mike was telling us that we weren't on or something. I was just about to panic. Sorry. Yeah, carry on. I did it 2006 for the first time. March 2006, I did that. With Dave Stones asking in the comments, did we ever go on it together? Yes, we did, Dave. Your memory's rubbish. We did that in 2006, and then I actually went there 2 days before they announced it was closed for good. I remember going with Coaster Force because we did Pleasure Beach, Southport, and then I went back to Pleasure Beach without Coaster Force the day after, and then I went home to find that Pleasureland had actually shut down for good, and I was just like, oh, wow, okay. And as Mr. Mushroom says, we actually did it front row, and the POV on his channel is me and him at the front. Mark, it was literally like 2 days after we'd been there that it closed down. Will Valhalla be open in August? No, definitely not. It will not open until 2022. Maybe. We'll see what happens with that. I think they should build a Mack water coaster instead, but I don't. It's not going to happen. But
I would approve of it.
I feel for it. I'm sorry, any Valhalla fans. Very sorry about that. But yeah, Mark, Mr. Mushroom, we were pretty much some of the last people to ever go on it whilst it was at Southport. Some of the last people to ever go on the Cyclone. Little did we know it at the time, If I'd have known that, I might well have gone on it a bit more, even though I didn't think it was great. I remember people suggesting Pleasure Beach would move it to Pleasure Beach. I was just like, don't be silly. It's not that good. It would be worse. It'd probably be on a par with Blue Flyer compared to like Big Dipper, Nickelodeon Streak, and even Grand National. Because back then, Grand National was pretty much the GOAT. Even though it just got them new trains, it was like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. We need an RMC at the Pleasure Beach.
No.
Yeah, I'll leave that one. There was a question somewhere about other theme park channels. Yes, I'm going to offend someone because I'm going to forget someone. I always do this. I'm going to run through some of the favourites of mine. Expedition Theme Park, we both watch it.
Yes.
El Toro Ryan, I love his, and a block zone is this. And I just love the detail it goes to in his videos. And I think it's quite refreshing to see somebody that's worked as a ride operator actually come on to a camera and talk fully about his experience as a ride op and how a ride works and what it does. I've watched his Magnum video so many times because it's so relatable, because it's so much like the big one. And a lot of that explains why the big one doesn't run on free trains anymore, for the similar reasons for Magnum still running on them, but it is a bit of a panic for them. When it runs on free trains, they have to run. There's a lot of running involved to get those trains going and to avoid a e-stop on the last brake run or anything like that. So, yeah, I'll let you get a word in. Any questions?
Someone's asked, what IP, if any, to replace Nickland? I would much rather see Pleasure Beach put their own spin on it again.
Yeah.
I think, one, for future, you keep it in-house. Do your own thing. Put some of the imagination that the people at Pleasure Beach have got into it. What?
Pepperoni nipples. Honestly, someone has wrote pepperoni nipples in the...
Fair enough.
Right, well, I suppose it is after 9 o'clock.
Yes, bring back Beaver Creek. I completely agree.
Only if they bring the wolf back.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to make that noise, but I think...
They could have so much more control and change things when they want. They could, I just think having that control makes so much more sense.
Yeah. And I just think that you've got so many talented people that work for Pleasure Beach, whether it be in the model shop, whether it be in engineering, whether it be in marketing, operations. There is so many talented people at Pleasure Beach that could come up with something that is better than Nickelodeon Land. I'm not for 1 minute saying that Nickelodeon Land isn't good, because I remember when it opened and I thought, this is a nice, refreshing, modern change to Pleasure Beach that had been well needed for a long time. And when you look back at that now, that was the start of the redevelopment that we have seen leading right up to the Boulevard Hotel. They had a clear plan and they carried it out very well. And I think that whilst not everyone likes what they've done, the park does look more modern. And I think that it has attracted more people to the park as a direct result of that. We need to answer Freddie.
Yes, thank you, Freddie.
Yes, thank you very much. We will say hello. If you are at the Pleasure Beach and you see us, please come and say hello. We'll always be happy to chat.
Yep.
If we've got little Charlie with us, we won't chat for as long as if it was just us two, or if it was me and Mike as an example. But if we have got Charlie with us, we will still chat, but he's nearly 3 years old and he will be dragging us to the next ride, so we will still chat. But if it's just us, or if it's me and Mike, or even if it's just me, I will chat.
Yeah.
I will always have a chat. If I've got my camera in my hand and I'm walking at high speed, there is probably a good reason for it, but I'll still say hello. But I will always try and stop and say hello whenever I get the chance. Always. So don't be shy. Always say hello if you get the chance, because especially if Mike's with us, you'll never get a word in, but...
You'll give us a break.
Yeah, exactly. We'll leave you with Mike and then we'll go and get a brew. Yeah. Sorry, Mike, you can't answer back at this point. So... Mike, feel free to share your thoughts in the live chat if you're still with us.
What merch would you like to see at the Pleasure Beach this year?
Do you want to go and get your example hoodie that you made?
Yes.
Or get the old one off the door.
I'll get the old one.
Get the old one. Blazed Buster 2021, there's your shout out. Chris Jackson, a shout out for you as well.
So, we have these.
You're going to get in trouble for this. I think people can see.
Yep, people can see.
Yeah, so this is the old school ones. These were excellent. These need to make a comeback. These were somewhere. There's also the logo on the front as well, like the old Pleasure Beach logo was on the front. They were excellent. Now, this is not going to... Becca's not mass-producing these.
I'm going to explain something here. As Scott said, I create all the PBE merch, and what I do is I test a lot of new things so that we can offer a bit more. And because I needed a new hoodie anyway, I have tested the material that I'm going to be using to recreate my own Pleasure Beach hoodie. It won't be getting sold, nothing like that. I just wanted a new one. But if you do fancy anything PBE in this kind of style, once I'm happy with it, because I've got to make sure it's going to be hard wearing and everything, and so far it's lasted, I tend to put stuff on our nearly 3-year-old to see if it will last, because what's better than a toddler to test things?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you like the look of that kind of shiny, reflective logo, let us know and we'll see about what we're going to do, because it's all just very much in testing at the minute.
Yeah, so the Cardinals asked the question that I was hoping someone would ask.
Oh, no.
About Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Amazing.
This time last week we were watching it,
yes.
And we were in... Oh, I'm sorry if you don't like DC, I really apologise, we might go off for a little while on this, but honestly, hashtag release the Snyderverse, please. We need more of that.
Needs to happen.
We need more Ben Affleck as Batman. We need more Henry Cavill as Superman. We need more of that. We just, honestly, we've not watched it again yet, but it will actually be getting watched again. No doubt about it. The best 4-hour movie you'll ever see. In terms of being the best DCEU movie, I don't know. I think I'm finding it difficult to knock Man of Steel off the top. That is my, since 2013, that has been my all-time favourite film. It even resulted in me having my first tattoo ever when I went and got my Superman tattoo, because I just loved that film so much. And I think that I've always been a Superman fan, going way back to when I was a kid. We used to watch it on a Saturday night on, I have no idea what channel, but it was when Saturday night telly was good, because there was like Baywatch, there was Gladiators, there was the National Lottery draw, which was exciting back in those days, and then there was Match of the Day. So it was all really good, and yeah, that's like a throwback to the 90s, and it was just, I loved that Superman series, so that's how I got into it. The 2006 film, I think it was 2006, might have been 5, the Brandon Routh one, he was a good Superman, but the film was terrible. But Man of Steel, just, that was amazing, and there should be more of it. I do agree that Christopher Reeve is excellent as Superman, but nah, I'm sorry, Henry's the best. Yeah. He is the best. There just needs to be more of it. There really does. Anyway, Blind Date.
Oh, God, that is... Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's going back to that era as well. Oh, jeez. Yeah, 90s television. Fantastic. Are you going to Blackpool in August? I'd say there's probably a 99.999% chance.
Yeah.
In terms of what date, I really don't know. Again, another comment for the Snyder Cut. Yes, it was stunning, and I don't think it dragged on. I don't know what you thought.
No,
Did you think it dragged on, or
none of it was dead space. It was all there.
Yeah, Mike shouting out Gladiators. Ben Affleck, Batman. What do you think?
Best Batman for me.
Best Batman for you.
Yeah.
He's growing on me. That's for sure.
You've got to have the attitude.
Sorry, it's not growing on me. He's a legend anyway, but
he's the only person that actually has the right attitude, and the way he carries himself anyway.
Yeah.
He is the right person for that.
He's like the real life Bruce Wayne, isn't he? Really, let's face it. Noel's house party, yes. Mr. Blobby. Dean Cain is Superman. He was excellent. 90s Superman. He was brilliant. He does not get enough respect for what he did as Superman. I think his political judgments cloud what people think of him as an actor. Anyway, back to rides. I knew this had happened at some point where we'd talk about Superman. It had to be done. One last comment. Christian Bale was excellent as Batman. Mike, will you go my first whistle? Scott, will you go my second whistle? Craig, I'm sorry, you deleted it. We saw it. if you want me and Mike to have a race, I will gladly have a race with Mike because I know I will win. Because Mike's knees will not hold up. That is an absolute certainty.
I'll get the health and safety kit out at the end of the race.
I'd say that's a good shout. What's your advice for going to Pleasure Beach on your own in October? Just enjoy it. I mean, Becca's gone on your own loads of times over the years.
I mean, back when I was in college, because I had Wednesdays free and it cost next to nothing really for a return trip from Edinburgh on the train, I spent a lot of Wednesdays in a very, very quiet Pleasure Beach, going around on the big one on my own. So it's just a case of just go with the flow, really. Go out with how you feel.
Yeah.
Don't really go in there with a plan. And I mean, if it's quiet, it's great. Just know that you might be sitting. For example, one of my trips, I decided to just sit on the big one for the day, but there was that few people actually queuing for the big one that I just had to sit and wait because they didn't want to send it round consistently with just me sat in the front or the back seat. Which was great though. The team on the big one on that day were quite amusing. I don't think any of them are there now. It's that long ago.
No, I think, was it 2011?
Possibly.
If
college,
DL worked on it, then it will have been.
Yeah, and T.
Yeah, Team W.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor was a legendary Pleasure Beach ride-up.
He was just so funny. And he chats, so yeah, the staff are really good at Pleasure Beach if you're on your own as well. They will just chat to you while you're having to wait, and yeah. It's a good day out on your own, really. Yeah,
definitely. I think one of the reasons I hated going to Pleasure Beach on my own initially is you always feel like people are looking at you like, oh, they're a loner. That's what I used to think. And as somebody that used to struggle quite a bit with doing anything like that before I got a bit more confident as I got older, I used to hate going to parks on my own because I always felt like people going, oh, he's an enthusiast, he's on his own, he's got no friends, he's a loner. But actually, you'll probably find that nobody gives two hoots what you're doing. If you're just there going on the rides and enjoying yourself and doing what everyone else is doing, literally nobody cares what you're doing. They just will leave you alone and you will have a great day because you can do everything in your own time. You can go to the toilet when you want. You don't think, oh, I'm getting in everyone's way, go in the toilet when we could be on the big one. When you want to go for dinner, no one else is like, well, I'm not hungry.
Another good thing is, when you think about it, when you're in a ride queue, no one knows that there's not someone you're with chickened out at the exit.
Yeah, exactly.
No one knows that. So people wouldn't judge. They might just think, if they do have a thought about, oh, that person's on their own, it might just be thinking, oh, their friends chickened it. You know, that's probably the only thought that they're actually going to have.
Yeah, and another thing as well is you might find that you might be on your own, but the person behind you in the queue may also be on their own, and you could start chatting to them accidentally, and before you know it, you could end up doing the rides with them, and you could make a friend for the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes that might happen, other times it won't. As Becca knows, I just like to chit-chat with just about anyone, so if I'm in the queue on my own, and I see someone else is on their own and they're just talking roller coasters or they make a comment to me, I will gladly stand and chat to them.
Yeah.
About it, because especially like a couple of times when I've been to the Pleasure Beach on my own and it's been one of those quiet Fridays, you'll sometimes get people who are sort of hanging around near the big one who are a bit scared to go on it, and they'll go, oh, have you been on it before? You'll go, yeah, I've been on. Do you mind if I come on it with you? I've never been on it before. You go, yeah, come on it then. Obviously before COVID, all this, before you know it, you have a chat with them, they feel happy about it, you go off and do your stuff, they go off and do their stuff, they feel better about it, and that's it. I think, like I say, when I was younger, I hated going to parks on my own and I just wouldn't do it. Now, I would do it gladly. Not that I don't want to spend the day with Mike and Mark. Maybe not Mike so much, because he can't answer. But, you know, it's just sometimes, it's like Mark today has booked a trip, I won't say where to, but he's booked a trip 2 weeks on his own, and I can guarantee that he will not give one hoot about what anyone is thinking when, apart from when he's running off from all the scare actors where he's going, maybe, because he'll definitely have to stay in his hotel with the lights on, And that'll not just be because of actors, it'll also be because of the snakes coming out of the toilets, maybe, or maybe alligators in the hotel reception. If Mark, if you're watching, let us know in the live chat that we are, in fact, making you very nervous about your holiday. So, yeah, what do you think about the 400-foot rill Starflyer? It's actually a thing.
I hate Starflyers. I think they're the most pointless thing out there. Why do they need that?
Was it not open?
What was... Yeah.
it'll never be open. It'll literally never be open. Like, you think about the wind.
Yeah.
It'll just be so windy.
It's just... Oh, I think I might have more of a dislike to them because when they started coming to Edinburgh at Christmas, and yeah. Anyway, moving on because that's a dull subject.
What do you think the best first coaster for the pleasure beach? Someone who's a bit scared of coasters.
Blue Flyer. But no, really, probably Roller.
Yeah, Nickelodeon Street, definitely.
It's probably as much as the other rides, as in, you know, it's not slow or anything, but where it is in the park, it doesn't feel as big. Even though it's taller than Big Dipper, it's not isolated on its own. It doesn't feel like you're falling as much. You know, so because it's a bit more compact, you might feel a bit safer on it.
Yeah. D Stone, before your comment goes off the screen, I'm going to have to go back up because he's talking about me. I met a loader on a train to Blackpool about 20 years ago. 10 years later, he's my best man at my wedding. Actually, Dave, just to correct you there, I was with a school friend and you were the one on your own. You were stood 2 people away from me on the train. It was a dodgy old Northern Rail bouncy thing out of Manchester Piccadilly. And you rang me. Where are you? Dave, I'm stood next to you. Oh, hi. And that's how we met. After talking for the best part of 3 months on, what was it called? MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
Before Coaster Force Live, the first one we ever did. So, yeah, Dave, your memory's definitely going. It's not very good.
So someone has asked about improvements for Pleasure Beach food. Expecting any improvements?
The thing is, I have to speak up here. It was actually much improved after lockdown.
I think this question's based on something I said before.
Where
there wasn't the option, for example, to get Charlie an apple. We know how much Charlie loves his apples.
Yeah.
That's something that's easy to come by in somewhere like Alton Towers, but was impossible in the Pleasure Beach.
Yeah.
So it was just healthier options, different options. I'm not expecting a change, but I also don't think there will be any... You know, I don't think it'll be bad or anything. I just think it'll just be... The offering will be the same.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just doing some PBE admin stuff, so I'll let you carry on for a second. Let's
see what we've got. Yes, roller sofa. That was good days. Yes, all the emojis on MSN and going on and off, people going on and offline just to get attention and song lyrics and all sorts of nonsense on MSN. Do you think the Swarm should be reintroduced Brave It backwards? I think there is an argument to have it half forwards, half backwards, just permanently just being how it is. If that makes sense. I don't think it adds a great deal, but I also think it's not too difficult. I imagine maybe someone that knows a bit more about these things would correct me, but I don't think it would be a bad thing to leave it. The only difficulties you might have is when people don't want to face backwards, so you cause havoc in the queue because someone realises, oh no, I don't want to go back. And you end up with a longer queue for one bit and not the other. Becomes a nightmare. So there's arguments 2 and 4. Well, 4 and against it. 2 and 4? I think I'm running out of words here.
Yeah, you just carry on. I'm just doing a bit of PBE admin work, just responding to an email. So please excuse my ignorance, but it's quite an important one. So I'll.
Fair enough. Right, let's see. Are Pleasure Beach season passes worth it, and how many times do you need to go to make it worth it?
Twice. based on the current pricing.
Yeah, you don't need to go very often. I mean, even when I lived in Scotland and was just kind of going when I could, I was getting massive value. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. If you're planning on going more than once, and if you think you'll ever have the opportunity of, I've got a free day, what am I going to do? It's a great thing to have. Yeah, I think they're really good. My thoughts on a full refurb of Colossus and lap bar trims, absolutely well needed. I hate the over the head things. For a start, it makes getting in and out so difficult, and I just think it could do with a bit of love. Personally, I'd probably rip it out and be done with it, but that's probably not an option. So yeah, I'd fully back a full refurb of it, as long as it wasn't going to take away from something better that Thorpe were going to do, of course. Right,
I'm back.
Oh, do you think they should add a spinning car to Icon like they tested on Blue Flyer? No.
No thanks.
No.
I think you'd lose the. I think you'd lose the near miss elements.
Yeah.
To be honest, so I've never really got the thing with. I'm sorry for sort of jumping in on this, but I never really got the going backwards thing on a coaster that's designed to go forwards. I think if you're going to build a coaster that goes backwards, build it to go backwards, if that makes sense. Make it work as a coaster that goes backwards rather than, oh, we'll just change it a year after.
Yeah. I mean, a good kind of case example for forward versus backwards is X at Thorpe.
Yeah.
I don't think it made a great deal of difference which way it, you know, they've made other changes, and I still don't think it made a great deal of difference what the ride actually did. So it just seems like one of those things that people think is a great idea until they've done it and then they're bored.
Yeah, agreed.
The time is better spent on longer term, this is going to last kind of ideas, if that makes sense.
I agree. So, catching up, would you be a supporter of Alton Towers made a second? Oh, that's the same question. Sorry, I'm just catching up because I was doing.
We didn't talk about Oblivion backwards, but it is the same.
Yeah.
Concept.
Just a quick reply to Elite Burner in one word: no. But there is Pleasure Beach Experience chat, which is a good replacement for the forum. The problem with the forum, and this is a similar reason to why we are going to have to go down the Pleasure Beach Experience membership route as well, is that social media allows for, on a forum, people to not post under their real name, which, as we've seen a lot with the football side of things, people can say things and not be traced. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of theme parks now who deal with parks, as we deal with a lot of parks through Pleasure Beach Experience, they like to know who's coming on events. They like to know who's talking on your forums, in your Pleasure Beach Experience chats, for example. Everyone needs to sort of take responsibility on social media, and that is why one of the reasons why we wouldn't have the forum back, because, for example, I could literally sign up as Michael Butt, and I could write a load of things about something, and Mike might get the blame for it. And that was the problem with the forum. You had no control over what was being said and who was saying it, whereas on PBE chat, it's a lot easier to manage, and I think it's a lot more of an adult environment, which the forum wasn't at times, and I was as guilty as anyone for that by being a dick in replying to people stupidly at times. And I think that I just prefer Pleasure Beach Experience chat. I really do. I think it's much better. The forum was good in its day.
Yes.
Back in its day, but it lost its purpose as it went on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I've got to answer this. Saw the ride with lap bars? Yes, please. I like Saw anyway.
Anything to improve it. I'd give it lap bars, definitely.
Yeah, I think that would greatly improve an already very, very good ride.
Yeah, I suppose it'd be better. It'd probably still be the third worst coaster at Thorpe.
Oh, come on. Saw is good.
Stealth, Inferno, and after that, I don't know. We'll start from the bottom up. Colossus, Flying Fish, Saw,
No.
Soar's better than flying fish. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but stealth isn't better than soar. It's
Oh,
just
come
not.
on.
It's just not. I'm sorry.
Stealth is so much better.
Yeah.
I'm going on RCDB and I'm going to do an official. There's not going to be a video about this because I'm going to give it all away now. So, Stealth, Inferno, Swarm. Okay, Soar. Soar's fourth. And then it'll be Walking Dead, then the Flying Fish, then Colossus. I have not been on Colossus in 8 years. 8 years since I went on Colossus. What?
No, I've just seen a very interesting. If the big one was a beer, what would it be?
Estrella because it's the best.
It's the only beer that I'd willingly pick up, so it'd have to be as well.
Estrella. Becca's more of a whiskey drinker, you see.
Yeah, whiskey, rum, something a bit stronger.
Yeah. If Nick Lankos would be okay with Roller Coaster Street staying orange but sponsored by Iron Brew.
Yes! If we can replace those green trains with blue ones, yes.
Christ, they'd be calling it the Nickelodeon Revolution at this rate. No, Revolution Streak. If it's not Nickland anymore.
Yeah.
With the Revolution Stella. Oh dear, I'm not even going there. I haven't been to Fort since 2012. Would have been in 2020 if COVID didn't happen. Hopefully you'll get to visit this year. What ride would whiskey be?
Oh, it depends whether it's while you're drinking it or the morning after. And maybe what whiskey.
You're the whiskey drinker in this party.
I'm just trying to think. I think maybe Inferno.
Really?
I'm trying to stick to UK ones because by the looks of it, people are a bit more...
Pepsi Max and rum.
Oh. Nickelodeon
Brew Revolution.
Yes, I agree, Jim. Single malt.
Can we get back to the subject of teapots? That was
Teapots
easier.
Filled with whiskey.
I think it's time for a second giveaway.
Yes.
So what do people need to do for a giveaway? I think you should come up with your best whiskey roller coaster name. So an existing whiskey with a name of a British roller coaster. Whichever's the funniest one will win another mystery prize.
Yes.
There we go.
And by the way, guys, if you do win a prize and we shout you out, give us a shout on social media and we'll get your details securely.
Yes, definitely. You don't have to worry about posting them in the chat. We'll brew streak. Whilst we wait for these answers to come in.
Why is the rum gone? Good question.
Why don't you go and get some rum? Actually, no, we're going out for driving a bit, aren't we? I'm not sure how buying trains would work, but if possible, I think it would be cool if Fort bought 2 new interim trains with lap bars for Stealth and Colossus.
Stealth, yes.
Personally, I would love it because it'd mean I'd go on Colossus again. But I just, this is me putting like a business cap on here, they just won't do it because they just won't get any return from it. Whilst like us as enthusiasts would lap it up and we'd have it all over socials about, yes, they're doing this, they're doing that. The general public would be like, what? They're like, non-enthusiasts would be like, so what, you changed the trains? Why is it going to be any different? Whereas we'd be like, yes! But otherwise, it just, hey, what's going on?
So, I think my favourite so far has been, you're getting too good at this.
Corbin, big one.
Stealth Morangi, just because that is one of my favourite whiskies.
The big sipper.
Jack's big one, yes. The famous grouse wine.
I just want to say hello to Expedition Theme Park. Please let us know when you go into Pleasure Beach. We'd love to come and say hello.
Glenfiddich Falls. If we can start filling up log flumes with whiskey, I'd go on them a bit more.
This is a JD and Coke big one.
Frisky whiskey thrill
Oh,
magic.
no.
Right, I'm going to say now, Donna, you absolutely get a prize for that one.
Yeah, that is excellent. Not a whiskey, but gin and iconic. Whilst not a whiskey, Hennessy's Steeplechase.
Yes.
Valhalla Ale. Jack Daniel's Infusion. Yes. Bad head guaranteed.
Grant's National. Very nice.
A whiskey lock flume.
That would be... Oh, Monkey Shoulder Icon. That's interesting.
Oh, we might be giving out a lot of prizes for this.
I suppose the swanky bottle kind of matches with Icon, so it could...
Oh, Jesus.
Someone's only got one thing on their mind tonight.
Definitely. Same person again.
Right, so we can move on. I'm going to choose one more person. It was the first one that I properly saw, and that's Geordie Lad 82 for Stealth Mirangi, because that was excellent. Right.
I'm sorry, I've got a bit of PBE admin, so carry on.
Nemesis Fireball and... Oh, bit of Fireball. Very good. Rename the big one Borbin Big One. God. We've got a lot more answers to that than I was expecting to start.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe the parts need to start selling whiskey a bit more freely. We're all clearly a bit too keen on our whiskey.
Definitely. I like it though. Dora's World Pub Crawl.
Glen Valhalla. Not bad.
So have you got your winners?
I have.
Have you made a note?
Yes.
Excellent. So what's the next subject? Send in your questions to Becca.
Yes. Ronnie Rum Streak. That sounds worrying, that does. Stealth's new slogan should be faster than a bullet bourbon. Now that is a good one. Central Blackpool project, good or bad?
Don't think it'll happen.
No, I've had that feeling from the start as well. But if it, let's say it did, good or bad for the Pleasure Beach, more people to Blackpool could only be a good thing. You can't be in Blackpool and not catch sight of the big one at some point. So it could only ultimately be better for the Pleasure Beach. A lot of people go there for a good few days. So, yeah, it just gives people more options. It draws more people. It gives people more reason to come. So it can only be a good thing for the Pleasure Beach. Thoughts on Lightwater Valley not opening the Ultimate for its 30th birthday? It's a shame, but ultimately, the park have to do what's best for its longevity. To be honest, I'd probably like to just go to my bed for my 30th birthday. But yeah, I think it's just, they have to do what's going to work for the whole lot. There's no point run themselves into the ground just because it happens to fall on that year. I think they've got to do what's best for them, and if that happens to be keeping it closed, then that's what we've got to do, really.
What's that? Sorry.
Keep Lightwater Valley, keeping the Ultimate closed. Yeah,
I think that it's probably not had any sort of work done to get it operational for this season. It probably didn't have any for last. Did it open last season? I don't actually know.
I can't remember.
But honestly, I just think it's one of those things where it'll never run again. I guess that they've looked at it and gone, we've got to fix X, Y, and Z. Is it going to be worth it? Are we going to get the people in to make that money back plus make a profit on top? Or do we let Flamingo Land, who are local, take all the thrill riders and we take all the families? I think that's the way they're looking at it.
I think a way to look at it is maintaining such a coaster. I mean, it's not an SLC that's just that, you know, it's not a simple coaster for a start. It's not a small coaster. It is a beast of a coaster, and probably to maintain it cannot be too easy.
Yeah.
Nor cheap. You could probably, I imagine they could maintain a couple of their other attractions for the same amount that it would cost to do that. So
yeah,
if they've got to do it, they've got to do it. But I would like to see it return.
Yeah, 2 years though, SPNO.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen again.
It is worrying, but ultimately, I should have chosen a better word. The park have to make sure they can run.
Yeah.
That's just what has to happen. I'd rather see the park continue long term.
Yeah.
And be able to flourish again at some point and maybe replace it with something bigger and better.
Getting over rarely to retrack it.
Oh. Not
so sure that's a good idea. What we're going to do, put a pacer on it
as
well.
Yeah, it'd be SB&O for another 2 years on top.
And the rest. But it'd only be in February that they did work.
Yeah.
So who were the winners? Did you announce the winners? Someone's asking in the chat. I can't remember.
I did announce the winners.
They'll definitely not get RMC'd. I think if they can't afford to run it, they can't afford to RMC it, unfortunately. That would be a great RMC, though. Becca's just checking the winners.
Yeah, sorry.
Replacement bus service, yes.
So it was Donna and Geordie Lad that won those ones.
Cool.
So yeah, if you could both drop us a message at some point.
So, do we have in the live chat any fans of, this is going back some years, Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes? Do we have any fans of those programmes? Because we'd like to talk about some conspiracies.
I've just seen the most confusing thing that's hurting my brain. Could Infusion be converted into a B&M? Please, as enthusiasts, can we all stop using the word converted when you mean rip down and build a new one? I keep seeing this word RMC and conversion in the same sentence, and when a bulldozer is involved, it is no longer a conversion. Doesn't work like that. But to go along with that question, could you put Build Infusion as a B&M? Not
No.
in that space you couldn't. And why bother? It'd be just as bad.
I think the profile of a B&M just works differently.
Yeah.
And I think that the Coma are still...
It looks like a cartoon drawing of it.
I might try and build it on Planet Coaster at some point. That will be interesting. I see there's quite a few people who were interested in when we said about Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. It'd be interesting to know what everyone's theories are on it, because we love it, don't we?
Yeah.
We've watched it loads of times now.
We've just finished watching it the whole lot again.
Yeah, again. Oh, that's interesting. What Samantha's commented.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to go and have a look where some of it was filmed. You know, just go and look at some of the streets and stuff, just to see how much it still looks the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll probably be less than 12 months before we watch it again. There's no doubt about it. But there's actually talk of it coming back, not it coming back, but them doing finishing off Sam Tyler's sort of story. So that'd be good. Hopefully they do. Anyway, back to parks, I guess. Imagine if Pleasure Beach got a B&M invert. But the thing is, they've got Infusion, which I've never seen a park build an SLC, Vekoma SLC, and a B&M invert in the same park. And I think, again, it goes back to, if you took one out and you built another one in its place, I just think that people would be like, you've literally built the same ride. And talking to people who aren't enthusiasts, of either friends or family, and they just a lot of people just think that parks build the rides themselves. They don't get a manufacturer. It's just they've built it. Because a lot of people don't like to talk about these things, but when Smiler had its incident, everybody blamed Towers because it's Alton Towers who built it. It's their ride. Well, that's the issue, and I just think a lot of decisions when parks are make decisions, they do it with a long-term picture in mind. They don't always think about, the enthusiasts would like it. They always go with what the general public would like, and also they go with what is most marketable at the time as well. I think there's a lot of that as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why Towers didn't get an RMC when they got Wicker Man, because they had to go with something that people would be interested in at the time. Yeah.
Right, I've spotted a question. Do you think Jewel should lose the guns and be turned back into a haunted house with a full refurb?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. I've beaten enough people on Jewel now, so we can change it.
Personally, the gun part of it is completely pointless for me because I've got some issues with my hands. I just can't do it anymore. The trigger is too painful for me, so for me it feels very pointless. But also, when the ride breaks down or has to pause for whatever reason, it just feels wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see more effort put into the surroundings than keeping the guns.
Yeah. So just replying to Geordie lad, that is pretty much spot on. When I did the IAPA Expo a couple of years ago, I was quite surprised to learn how far in advance parks do buy, or I say buy a slot with a manufacturer for a new ride. That was a term I heard used quite a lot, and it's not something that's kept a secret. It's just common knowledge at these sort of places. And when you buy a ride, you don't necessarily buy a ride straight away. You sort of go to the manufacturer and say, we want one of your products in 4 years' time, 5 years' time, maybe. And that's where they go from there, really. They might pay a deposit and then decide what ride they're having after it, or they might have a, yeah, we want this, and go for it. So yeah. I think the pandemic will have definitely changed a lot. I think a lot of parks will now be going, well, we're probably going to have to delay that maybe 5 years or so. I certainly don't think Pleasure Beach are going to get a coaster for a while. Certainly don't think they need one either. As much as we love to see new coasters at Pleasure Beach and in general at parks, I think there's so many things at Pleasure Beach that could be done first. Like, for example, I would rather see, let's say, the Grand National fully retracked before a brand new coaster. I'd rather we saw like the big one have more retracking done than a new coaster. It's just, I think Pleasure Beach have got so many things that they could make feel new with what they've already got. And yeah, that's my thought on it. I'd love to see some new coasters, but I just don't think it's going to happen for ages.
No, especially with the last year in mind.
Yeah.
An interesting one. What do you think the most underrated ride in the UK is?
Oh, I'll go for that with you. Let you have that one.
So, I think if we're talking about underrated in how much attention it gets from the public, how much of a queue it gets, then I would say Nemesis. Completely opposite if you're thinking about just enthusiasts, but if you're thinking about the general public, and when you actually see how dead it permanently is, I would say Nemesis.
Yeah.
Because there's just very little public interest in it. So I'd say that, because you can see every other ride in the UK get a queue, but it has been a long time since I've actually had to wait for Nemesis.
I mean, I've quite often joked about Nemesis being, oh, no one goes on it, it's not popular. And
see, I just don't understand why it's not, but clearly there's something that we miss.
I mean, obviously the capacity on it does help it, but even last year, you think about it, Nemesis was on 2 trains, but it was effectively on 1 train with how many people it had on it, because they were running at half capacity.
Yeah.
And on a day when we were there in the middle of July, Smiler, 2 hours, Oblivion, 80 minutes, Wicker Man, 2 hours, Air, 2 hours, Nemesis, walk on. And it was on half capacity. I just genuinely think that will be the first secret weapon coaster that goes. And I genuinely don't think the general public, who aren't enthusiasts, would actually care that much. We would all be like, oh my God, it's gone. And I think that, I know you're not the biggest fan, but even I think when you went to Towers and it'd be gone, you'd be like, oh,
it'd feel weird.
Gone.
It would feel weird without it.
Yeah, so I do agree with Expedition Theme Park's comment. I just think its days are very, very numbered now. And I think that Towers will probably be able to replace it, and whatever replaces it will get lapped up as the best thing in the whole wide world again. Because they are good at that. They always have been.
Yeah.
Whether we agree with it or not, they've always been fantastic at making their newest thing look like the best thing that anyone's got anywhere in the world.
Thoughts on Shambhala?
I spoke about this in a recent video, ranking every B&M coaster. And I find that at times I overhype it, and at other times I underappreciate it. I think it's a very, very good coaster. It's got so much airtime. It's got an incredible first drop. I like the water splash bit. I just think it fits Portaventura.
Yeah.
I don't like its turnaround. I think it's bizarre. But I think I appreciate it more now than I did before I'd done other hypercoasters that are built by B&M. Because as an example, Six Flags Great Adventure, I was told that Nitro would be the best hypercoaster I'd ever been on. No. Diamondback at Kings Island, I've only done it once. It has weird seatbelts. They come around like here or across your chest rather than like on a buckle, which is just really bizarre. That didn't take away from the ride itself, but it was still a bit strange, and we just didn't get the full benefit of that, I don't think. We also did it when it was a bit sluggish because the weather was rubbish. So I think Shambhala is great. I think if you put it in most parks in this country, it'd be the best coaster. Don't know if you agree with that. It'd certainly be one of the best. But I'd love to see Fort Park build something like Mako.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Shambhala for me, it just feels like it's missing something. There are parts of it that I really like. That turnaround, let's not even go there. There are bits of it that are great, but it just misses something, but I couldn't tell you what it was. It just doesn't feel complete. I don't know, there's just something not there.
The ejector airtime. It has floaty airtime. It doesn't have the ejector airtime, and I think that's what it lacks. I just want to say that I definitely don't dislike Nemesis. I don't dislike Nemesis. I think it's ace. I think it's totally underappreciated by non-enthusiasts. Enthusiasts probably overhype it.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a great coaster, and I will be sad to see it gone, but I genuinely don't think it'll be long. I reckon a couple of years' time we will be talking in a video about they've removed Nemesis, what do we think they're going to do with it?
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Someone's having a sing-along. I'm not going there, but very funny.
Oh dear. Alright, go on.
Here's another question though. What ride would you like to see with a new Notable Stranger masterpiece?
Notable Stranger masterpiece. Well,
I know Charlie would say all of them because he loves Icon and Big One. So
he does, and I think for me, for me as well, I'm going to be delighted when the new Pleasure Beach theme tune gets announced and released in the next couple of weeks, months maybe. That'd be ace because they teased it on socials the other day. That's going to be brilliant. There's going to be a couple of mentions from Mr. Jeffrey Thompson in there as well, so it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to hearing it all. But in terms of an actual ride, I think Infusion. I think it'd be quite good if you did one for Infusion.
I hadn't really given thought to that, but yeah. I was thinking the Grand National because something's got to cheer that station up, and I think music may well do it.
Yeah.
I think given it's got a lot of character to it, and I think there's a lot you could work on. I mean, you could use its little alarm for when it's coming back and everything. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, you could fit in the brake sounds given the
exactly
quite frequent. But I think given how much you're waiting in that station, and it might make it queuing for it feel a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it deserves a bit of something.
Yeah. Nemi will be the first 50-year B&M. I just don't think it will. I'm sorry. I think Nemesis Inferno will outlive it. Really sorry. But I just think it will.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to everyone that loves Nemesis. I'm sorry as well, but I just think it's just rumours. We're just speculating. You know, anyone could say that you're just bullshitting and trying to cause trouble. Well, no, I just genuinely don't think it'll last very long from now, but it's done well to get this far. I just think it's such a complex place for where it is as well. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope that in 10 years' time, people are going, you said Nemesis was going to get removed and it's still here. I really hope that's the case. But I'm not so sure it will be. We will see.
The thing is, parks look at footfall, and certainly from another visitor's point of view, it doesn't look great.
No, I just...
So, that is something we've got to consider. If a ride is constantly quiet, those in power aren't going to go, oh, but we love it, and oh, but those enthusiasts love it.
Yeah, I just think...
it is worrying to see when it's so quiet.
The Wild Mouse was popular, and that didn't last.
Yeah. Because
it had to go. An example at Towers would be Corkscrew. Well, nobody liked it until it was being removed.
Yeah.
But as soon as... Still, it was a fan favourite and it got removed. So I just think these things do happen every so often, but I can guarantee that whatever towers did replace it with, everyone would love it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. What would you do with towers in terms of a new ride, though? If you had a choice to put a new ride into towers, obviously bearing in mind the tree issue, what would you do?
Mack water coaster.
Mack water coaster.
Easy.
Yeah.
They don't need to be too tall. They can be amazingly themed. I could imagine them getting away, if they did the theming right, potentially getting away with a little bit more height.
Yeah.
You know, if they used some older stone to build up.
Yeah, just
a bit like my brain doesn't work. Journey to Atlantis.
Yeah.
Being encased in something but having it a bit higher and it just looking like an old castle. They might get away with it, you don't know.
Yeah, I've got to give another vote for a Mack water coaster. I just think they're a good family attraction. They're easy to market. You can theme it nicely. You could give it a piratey theme, put it in the place of Battle Galleons.
Yep.
Nice centerpiece, nice ride to see when you walk in the park. Yeah, I'd go for it. I'm sorry the Pandora's 9, but I am not singing for nobody. It's not happening. He says that he was going to donate to blind orphans if you sing. Not me. Just you.
Oh, I'm not singing.
I am not singing. I might just donate some money to them rather than singing.
I've got a bad enough throat without
Would you like some iron brew?
No, but I may well go and get a different drink in a second.
Go and get a cup of tea. I'll hold the fort for 5 minutes.
Oh, because you want one.
No, I'm too warm for a cup of tea. I've got iron brew.
Yeah, I'll go and get a drink. I'll be back in a second.
I'll get a bit more central for 5 minutes. Oh, right. Bear with me, everybody. Oh, yes, I am central. There we go. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. Right, it's just me for a minute while Becca makes cups of tea. Now you probably can see the mess behind us, so I'm just going to mess about and sort of say, like, welcome to the Bat Cave and stuff like that. Just generally be silly. I hope you're enjoying the stream anyway. Sad to say that, obviously, Mike's not with us tonight. We did try, but for some reason the audio just wasn't working. It was that is a big frustration for us, really. It would have been nice to have all 3 of us on, but if Mike agrees, I'm sure at some point that we will all be able to do a live stream where we're all together. Oh, hey, Becca's back already.
I'm back.
That does not look like a cup of tea.
It's not.
Right,
I went for 7-Up instead.
Went for 7-Up instead. Right, we're both back on screen. RMC through the Towers Gardens. That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
Keep it nice and low.
Yeah.
Think of the airtime moments. Think of the airtime.
Yeah.
So,
that would be good.
Out of all the RMCs in the world, which is the one that you most want to do?
Oh.
Obviously, the Joker.
I think that's got to be the one, and genuinely, I'm not the greatest fan of how RMCs look. I'm not overly excited to actually get on them. So the Joker may well just be because I like the colours. It's genuinely going that pathetic because I'm just not overly excited to get on one.
Yeah.
But, although there is that single rail one in Cali that I might be doing.
Yeah, the Railblazer.
Railblazer, that's it. That does look interesting. But I am also worried that I might just really not enjoy it.
Yeah.
So again, that's not I need to do it.
For context, you are going to be going to California in literally a month's time from now, if it was all going to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about what parks you will be doing when you go?
I haven't fully decided, so I'm going to stay quiet on that for now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which one are you definitely doing? Because there is one that you're definitely doing.
Yes. Six Flags.
Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain, that's the one. Just because I want to do the Revolution.
Yeah.
That is the main reason. That is why California. That rain is really loud.
Is it raining?
That is really raining. It's making a lot of noise in here.
For context, Becca's hearing's better than mine anyway, but at the minute my ears are blocked up, which means that I can't hear anything. It is quite convenient at bedtime because I can't hear our little boy shouting at night, so that's quite handy. I think that the deafness problem at bedtime might be for the foreseeable. So we're getting some good sleep lately, but yeah, it's I can't. Apparently, it's raining outside, but I can't hear it.
It's absolutely battering against the door. It sounds vicious out there.
You know, it's bad when people can actually hear it, and I'm sat here and I can't hear it. That is the issue that I am having right now.
Yeah.
Mike on a trike. Hello, welcome to the live chat. Unfortunately, as you're joining, I'll let you know there is no Mike. He is he was watching Salford playing rugby and having a chippy tea, and for whatever reason, his microphone, we could hear him, but nobody else could. So that is something we need to work on for next time, and I think it's something that we need to fix, definitely. So, wind howling in Blackpool, no surprise there.
When isn't it?
As long as it's not doing so on the 12th of April, that is the main thing. Are we going to go back to Syon Park? Absolutely. It's got to happen, just to make sure that we get a new clip of Mike falling off, because I'm quite bored of using that one now.
Yeah.
And so we need a new one. So we need to make sure. But Mike's now got himself a GoPro. So Mike can, film himself actually falling off it as well. So we'll get a different perspective. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike is indeed bossing the chat. He's in charge tonight. Yeah, we were actually quite annoyed with ourselves at Syon Park because we missed out on a significant amount of rides. There was the volcano ride, which we missed out on, and there was a couple of the other just generic slides that we just didn't do because just because we ran out of time on ride rotation. I've got to answer that. Why did you work at Alton Towers if you live in Blackpool? I have never lived in Blackpool for one day of my life, unless you count staying in a hotel for 7 days once. But
we live a lot closer to Alton Towers.
Yeah. If I was to drive to Alton Towers and Becca was to drive to Blackpool right now, I would get to Alton Towers before Becca hitch on at Richard. That is the sort of closeness.
Yeah, and I'd have my foot down, and I probably would be driving faster.
Yeah,
so,
especially on those country roads that I'd be facing in this weather.
Exactly, so
yeah, it was still a bit of a commute to Towers, but I'd just passed my driving test. So for me, it was like happy days. I don't see a problem with driving 40, 45 minutes to go and do a bit of driving, go and do a bit of work. And plus, it was a job that, at the time, it intrigued me. I just wanted to work on rides. I just wanted to see what it was like to work on rides, so I did. And even though I'd have liked to work on more of the coasters, I will not change any of the days I worked at Towers for working on a coaster, because working on the Flu was amazing. To work on a ride that was 100% manual and having to walk all day on that turntable, it was just memories that I'll always stick with. There's a couple of pictures on my Facebook of me working at Towers, mostly people taking the piss with me bloody with buckets, emptying out boats. No one
thought to people.
Yeah, nobody thought to take any pictures while I was actually working on the ride, instead just doing the rubbish job of working on it. But why Pleasure Beach over Towers? Because Pleasure Beach is just better.
We just enjoy it more.
Yeah, I mean, Becca's originally from Scotland anyway, and that was always where you went, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
But even now, when I've lived closer and been able to go, I just haven't enjoyed a single day at Towers because they just haven't got it right for me. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I've gone on my own, I've gone as a group of adults, I've gone with a child, and there's always been far too much that just needs improvement for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit picky though.
Yeah,
I expected more, and the amount that people hype it up when they can't stand up to that, it doesn't help. But
yeah, agreed. Has the quiz ended? I didn't know there was a quiz.
Were we doing a quiz?
I don't know. Should we do another giveaway?
That might be what they mean.
Yes. What is going to be the prize? What do we need to do this time? I chose the last one, so.
Oh, it put me on the spot. Right. You know my brain doesn't work. Let's see. What?
Oh, let's go with something easy. Favourite Pleasure Beach experience vlog moment that isn't Mike falling off the dinghy?
Yes, that's a good one.
Question 1, is there a quiz? Answers on a postcard. Or a postcode if you spell it wrong, like I did once.
No, not the most comments, Freddie. Let's not go there.
No, absolutely not.
That's just going to be a headache for everyone.
I am not wearing a smiley-themed outfit.
Ooh, no.
Not unless I get paid. And even then, it's not happening.
I'm not coming with you that day.
No, I am not wearing that clown outfit. I'm sorry. I'd look like a scare actor. The log flume, you and Mike breaking it. Well, that was funny. That's a positive. Oh, can you actually remember that vlog? Oh wow, that was 2016. I won't go into context about that one. Flume of Doom, Mike on the log flume, best moment ever. Halen Island is the one where we got stuck.
Yeah. Mullet on at Oakwood.
Mike on River Rush. Mike on the log flume. I'm going to guess that everybody likes Mike.
This is why there's a Mike fan club, isn't there? Because
yeah. Mike falling over, walking out. Yes, that was funny. The look on your... Yeah, the sunrise tour was ace.
Filming whales, yes.
Yeah, yes. That was ridiculous. Mark at any clown maze, all clips of Mark in scare mazes. You're going to pick the winner, by the way. You guys complaining about that day being bad. Yeah, we won't go there. That was... I'm not going to go into why, but that was... We'd had a bad day the day before with something that had gone on, and I think we just took to the video and we shouldn't have done. We were all in a bit of a strop over something, so we just thought we'd take it to the video, and I think it'd be fair to say we've grown up a bit since then. But it was funny at the time, but I wouldn't do it again. Shopping trolley. How is there airtime on the water slide? Yeah, that... Honestly, that was terrifying. I thought it was just going to be like a family-friendly slide at the end of a lazy river. And I went down that drop and just felt myself lift off the dinghy. I was like, oh no, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
Walking the stealth launch. That was excellent.
That was good.
Craig, I've got a confession about that. I accidentally deleted the footage. And that was before it got uploaded. I was tired. That was my excuse. Mark on the hangover, yes. Can't wait to go on Icon, the washing machine.
A lot of shopping trolley comments, isn't there?
Shopping trolley.
Oh, right. Shall we choose?
Yeah. That dragon slide terrified me as well. It really did. Yes, Craig, I am silly, and I have regretted it every day since, because we will never, ever get to do that again, unfortunately.
Right, okay, so...
Becca's picking a winner.
I'm going to choose two, I think.
Two winners.
Two winners. So, Shook's edits for remembering the shopping trolley, because... Again, that's a Charlieism, because he picked up on shopping trolley, and now... he sees certain types of coasters and just shouts shopping trolley.
What have I done? I feel so bad about that comment, to be honest. It's just, yeah.
And Oliver chants for how's the rare time on a water slide. So if you could both drop us a message, we'll sort you out after the live stream, probably tomorrow. Yes,
definitely. It will be tomorrow sometime. We're going out to brave the hailstone to try and do some filming in a bit.
Yeah.
Becca wants to show me how to use a mirrorless camera. So, something a little bit different. So, yes, please do, Craig, because I'm an idiot and deleted that footage. I think we might wrap up soon. We've been on the go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours after the mishap, let's say. Probably wrap up in the next 10 minutes. In fact, we'll go off at 1:15, so... if you've got any questions, please send them over before 1:15, and then we'll try and answer them all as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
No.
It's all right. We'll be back again soon.
We'll be back soon. Promise. We'll have Mike with us. Actually, somewhere, probably the garden.
Yeah.
We have a big canopy in the garden. We can all sit under that socially distance. Well, we don't have to socially distance.
Yeah.
We'll put Mike on the wall. How did we meet and get together? Well, it took 10 years almost. So it wasn't quite that long, was it? But
11?
2009.
Yeah.
The first ever Pleasure Beach Experience meetup.
Yeah.
And then it was 2015 got together. So we took our time, but we got there in the end.
Yeah.
Big Blue or Boulevard? Big Blue. I've never stayed in the Boulevard. I have had a tour of it, and I prefer the Big Blue definitely. Any ideas for future events? Yes, but I can't post them all yet just in case it don't happen. I don't want to disappoint people with saying this is going to happen and then we don't do it. I always like to just sort of throw the sort of events out there as they're happening now, because then in the past we've gone, yes, we've sorted this, and then we go, oh, actually we can't do that now. So it's always best to just sort of go with it when we know it's happening for definite. Apparently there is a new vlog camera where screen comes out the side rather than the top. Are these cameras worth the money? It's
Depends
hard to
on
say.
Your style, really.
Yeah.
Some people are more put off by it. It can also make them a little bit harder to hold.
Yeah.
Depends what your setup's like, and depends on which side it comes out at as well. It might not be as easy to hold and look at, and it can be quite distracting. It can also draw your eyes to the wrong place. So
yeah,
it's a difficult one, that, because it would really change depending on your style of recording.
Yeah. Stephen, you've asked about Valhalla a few times. It's definitely not opening this year. So it might be open on the 12th of April 2022, but it definitely won't be open on the 12th of April this year. Would you ever consider doing a Lost Rides with Pleasure Beach as part of your history series? Definitely. Excuse me, just coughing. Yes, in short, we would definitely like to do some more about the old rides, but the biggest problem is sourcing actual video footage of it, because I don't want to make a slideshow video where it's just 10-15 minutes of just literally just pictures the whole time. So just need to find the footage, take the time to sit, search for it, speak to people who own the footage, and then, you know, sort of say, can we use that footage? But I always like to film or make videos using my own footage. A lot of that has not happened in the last couple of weeks. I've had to ask a lot of people, can we borrow this footage? Can we do this? Can we do that? Don't like doing that so much, but a lot of people have been super helpful with that, and it's been great. So anyone that has helped out there, thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks to Craig. Will we see a PBE TikTok? I'm sorry, that's not happening. Not unless we could get Mike dancing.
Even still. No.
Yeah, it's not really our thing. Just don't think it's going to happen. Need a Blue and Boulevard pass to enter and exit the park? Absolutely. Yes. Totally agree. I hope that does happen. So, any more questions?
Yeah, you've got a few more minutes for more questions.
I'm going to answer Andy Makin's question about collabing with that group, and in short, no. Have you seen Jack Siltzone's video of the Lego stealth car? I thought that was Digital Dan that had done that one.
There's been multiple now. Yeah. I see them every 5 minutes, but
yeah, with having a toddler, I don't dare try and recreate anything with Lego, and we see so much of it in the day in our own house that I've not watched any of the Lego videos. I've seen them advertised a lot, and I think that people have done amazingly to do what they've done with it, but Lego's not really my thing unless I'm building it with Charlie.
Yeah.
So, and it's an absolute nightmare if you stand on it.
Yeah.
There's that too. What did you put on your brick? I put my name and my happy place. So something like that, I think.
Blackpool or Porty? Oh, gee. I can understand a lot more people at Porty.
Where's Porty? Portobello.
Portobello, but I've got to say it's gone downhill since the arcades started going. But for what's still there, I do enjoy the arcades in Porty. Yeah, we'll have to say Blackpool, don't we? Because we've got the Pleasure Beach, but Yeah.
The Portobello
It's just an
Pleasure Beach.
interesting question. Hey, there was all talks of it at one point.
Yeah, why not? So, what was on the point with the half-submerged statues of the river caves at the Pleasure Beach Express? Do you have... Oh, I can't read that. No. Right, you've got 5 minutes. Any more questions? Are you going to Black Gang China? I'd like to go and get the credit. It'd be a nice rare credit to have. Can we see Mullet on the next live stream? At the minute, he's doing nothing but driving trains. So I think once things are a bit more back to normal, we'll probably see a bit more Mullet, to be honest. He is he's very much looking forward to getting more involved with PBE again when he can. And I think, yeah, we'd like to have him on a live stream because he's entertaining. Yeah. He's entertaining for us. So, yeah, definitely. If we could get him on here, then at some point, I don't know if he's watching. If you are watching Mullet, feel free to comment or drop me a message on Facebook or something. But the ideal scenario on one of these live streams, I think, is getting us two, Mike, Mark, and Mullet all at once. And then if we could get a big enough screen, get Chris and Gemma on with us as well. Just have it, or we could just have it rotating all night, just kind of swapping who's on. And
we'll just live stream one of our parties. That'll be enough.
Oh Jesus! Can you imagine? Parental advisory.
We'll have a special camera at the bottom of the stairs
for Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell you all a story that Mike fell down the stairs at our old place when we had a Christmas party, and then he didn't fall asleep, but he wasn't really realising where he was, and he wouldn't move. It took quite a few of us to persuade him to move out of the doorway, as it was the only place to get in and out of the house. And it's like, oh, this could be a problem if there's a fire. So
yeah, and I believe there was talk of pizza being ordered at that point, so it would have really been disastrous.
Yes, I think
passing slices of pizza through the letterbox would not have been a fun night.
No, that'd have been a bit rubbish, wouldn't it, in the end? Yeah, Techno Andrew, we are definitely going to do a live stream when there is all of us on the go. Like I say, we've got a big enough garden that we could set it up where we just keep rotating who's on it.
Yeah.
And we could sort of say, yeah, let's go again, and will you be returned to the Fleet of Doom again? Probably not, to be honest. Largely because it's so far away from home, and it was a case of we'll just go and do the credit. The only reason we went on that log flume is because it was like 38 degrees, and we were like, we need to cool down. And it was counterproductive because we ended up on that lift hill for ages and got sunburned. So we went on the ride to cool down and ended up warmer. So yeah, that wasn't a great idea. Do you have any hobbies outside of theme parks? Yes, definitely. Loads, to be honest. Yeah, football especially. A live stream from the Pleasure Beach would be difficult, I think. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's too much background noise. Too much we couldn't control, so I wouldn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
Would you go to Tato Park again? As soon as we can.
Definitely.
That will be an absolute as soon as we can.
Yeah, I think we could day trip it, to be honest. You can day trip it in and out of Manchester quite easily. So we've got that many Ryanair vouchers from 2020 that need to be used by June kind of time, July kind of time, that as soon as Tato Park's open and as soon as we can go, I think we probably will day trip it. Because I think we'll just go and sit on Hugh Cullen all day. Sounds good to me. There is also a new credit there as well. Yeah.
And James, we've not done the slide at West Ham's ground, but it does look interesting. But I still don't think it's a reason to go anywhere near West Ham's ground.
No, unless we all go and blow bubbles.
Yeah.
Would you ever visit the Hopkins or Hull Fair? Yes and yes.
Yeah.
Yes to both.
Yeah.
The only reason we didn't do Hull Fair 2 years ago is because it just fell at the wrong time. And Hopkins this year is at a good time. If it goes ahead in June, we probably will go on the first day, or at least near the first day. So, yeah, I think that's it. We're going to wrap it up there. So, thank you everybody who's watched. Again, sorry for no Mike. Mike will be on the next one. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll sort that out next time.
Yeah, we'll make sure that happens. Have you considered to do Barry's in Northern Ireland? Yes, because we want to do Barry's Big Dipper. So, yeah, going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kev. I'll drop you a message in a bit. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching. Again, sorry about no mic. Apologies for that. See you soon. I just need to remember to click the right button.